Welcome back, Oz here. And today we're taking a look at a question on r/AskReddit. Fellow old Minecrafters, what is your best memory from Minecraft? I used to play on a server called NewSpawn. Every week the spawn point would move to a random location in the world, and we build a new city at that spot. Some players would build pathways connecting to previous spawn settlements to make it easier for people to find their old bases again. At one point, me and a few other players decided to go off on our own and build a secret underground city, which we called Yuskos, Underground Secret City of Secretness. We spent an entire day carving out a massive hollow chamber underground, then spent a few days settling it with powered lighting in the ceilings, tree farms, houses, etc. It was a beautiful city and it was our secret. Servers shut down unexpectedly shortly after that, and I never found those dudes again. Honestly, in my opinion, if you've never built an underground secret base, you can't call yourself a Minecrafter. That's just fact. Running a server with my best friend was great until he joined an experienced build team and I started experimenting with making mods. So our playstyles kind of drifted apart. Ran for about 5 years. Kind of also shaped our futures. He's studying architecture and I'm in IT. I knew nothing about Minecraft at all. I had only heard of it. My 5-year-old daughter wanted to try it, so I got it for her. I thought it was just a building game and didn't know there were enemies and you could die. That first hour of it getting dark and frantically trying to build walls, only to learn they can spawn anywhere in the dark and we're now inside, etc. It was crazy. I did the exact same thing. Also, accidentally hit a wolf when I was checking to see if I could pet it. Building maps, uploading them, having 1,000+ people download them and leave nice comments. I always want to be a map maker, but I was garbage at building. About 9 years ago, my best friend and I would race home from school just to play Minecraft together as much as we could. We didn't realize Skype was a thing, so we just called each other from our house phones and stayed up into the wee hours of the night. Our big thing was always to make a public server that we ran together. They never worked out despite our best efforts. We made countless worlds where we built spawns, arenas, shops, etc. About 3 years ago, he was in a terrible vehicle accident, and he passed away. His family gave me his old laptop as a present because they knew how much time we spent with each other over video games. Sometimes I'd boot up that old laptop, close all the pop-ups, open up an old version of Minecraft and just walk around those countless worlds we created together. Good times. Playing on a server with my friends using Hamachi. Good old times. Hamachi. My friends and I would constantly make new servers and just restart everything. There was one server that we lost that I always wish I could go back to. It was right after the NPC village update and we had one spawn on a mountain in the middle of some plains. It was sloped, so the road in the village went from the bottom perfectly up to the top with all the buildings on the side of the mountain. It's like how you would imagine someone who wanted to do that would make it. It was so perfectly, and my house was the blacksmith house. I wish I could go back. I always made my houses in the librarian's house, big enough and I could easily add a second floor. I only ever stole the blacksmith stuff in the books of the librarian. Then I took over one of the big empty houses and slowly connect the houses with each other to build one mega house with little atriums. Either that or I'd start to make the city safe with walls and eventually golems, but I rarely got that far without getting too sidetracked. That's what I did. I'd build my house just outside, get some good resources, then defend that village like it's my child. For me personally, my friend and I, when we would play, we would go to villages and we would dismantle them, like take everything. We would remove the foundation, the wood, the gravel roads, the farms, everything was torn up and we would just leave the villagers with nothing and we would walk away. It was great. I used to be an admin on a server when Minecraft was very popular. I had been on the server for probably 2 years and worked my way up to admin. But shortly after building for the owner and getting tons of new players to join, I found out he was using the donation money to buy drugs and personal things despite saying all the money goes back to the server. I confronted him about it and he basically said, yeah, I'm lying to the players, who cares? He basically told me to go fuck myself and I said, okay. Sounds good, man. Good luck. The next day, I world edited the spawn to shit and made people spawn over lava. I killed the server and overwrote the save, and killed the server immediately as I made my own server, bringing people over who were tired of said person. Was there a more mature way to do it? Probably, but 16-year-old me at the time didn't care. In my eyes, I was bringing him to justice, and giving players a more active server that was cared about for more than drug money. It felt great. I used to go on a pretty popular faction server with my friend, and it was pretty PvP. There were various cities and each city had a mayor. We joined one of the biggest factions and the mayor let us run a little shop. You couldn't fight or destroy other properties unless the mayor gave you privilege to do so. We wanted to be peaceful, so didn't invest much in weapons, plus TNT was banned and anyone caught with it would be kicked out of the city. There was this one shopkeeper in the city called Heimbob. He was very quiet and barely talked to anyone and had the default Steve skin and just stood in his shop all day long but always seemed to have everything. He hated other shops too but never outright said it. But we found him snooping around other shops and following people when they went to gather resources so he could sneak in and steal any resources people hadn't yet mined. One day though, the mayor accidentally deleted the faction so the entire city basically went into wilderness territory. Instantly, it devolved into anarchy and people started attacking each other and setting things on fire. My friend and I tried hiding in our shop and watched people being murdered on the street. We could hear TNT explosions too, and in the midst of the fighting, we saw Heimbob walking among the carnage with a block of TNT. Eventually, we got attacked and had to make a run for it with most of our valuable stuff. I was on low health being shot by an archer, so I put up a few blocks of dirt as a shield whilst begging my friend to help me. Out of nowhere, I saw my friend, Optimus Prime Skin 2, run over to the archer and kill him with a block of dirt. We got his stuff, including TNT, I guess he killed Heimbob, and ran back to our shop, which is when the mayor finally restored the faction. Lots of stuff was destroyed, but our shop was intact. The guy we killed proper rage for his stuff back, but we kept refusing and started trolling him by saying stuff like anyone wanna buy steel legs, or trying to sell other stuff we took off him. Eventually the mayor came over and kept the peace by giving us better stuff in exchange for us giving the guy his stuff back. Lots of shops got destroyed and no one knew who did it, but we knew. We knew it was Heimbob with TNT. I was pretty new to the game when this happened. Way back around the time multiplayer was first added, found a hole that a friend had dug straight down into a cave. Bottom was basically out of view. Wanted to go down and set up a ladder, so to safely get down, I started dropping sand and gravel down the hole to dig down afterwards. I spent a good while dropping the blocks down and had to keep farming up more and more. I was shocked at how deep this hole must have been, so no matter how many blocks I tossed down, the stack didn't seem to get any closer. Finally, I made a whoopsie and when approaching the hole, I forgot to hold shift and fell all the way down to my death. While laying there, bones shattered, I noticed a large pile of loose sand and gravel all around me and the torch I landed on. That's when I learned about the interactions with falling blocks and torches. So when I was 13 or so, I was very stupid. I would play on this prison server, which, if you don't know, is a server where the goal is to grind for resources, and that's it. All you got was basically bragging rights. And I started talking to a fellow player. We were on at the same time a lot and would talk using the in-game chat, and eventually we got on Skype. Since to my knowledge Discord didn't exist, or at least people didn't use it like they do today, surprise, the other player is a girl. Anyways, we got along really well for a while and she asked me where I was from, and I said Chicago suburbs. She said she was also from the Chicago suburbs. Turns out we were literally in the towns next to each other. One time towards the end of my Minecraft playing career, my dad mentioned he was going to the grocery store that was on the border of the two towns, and he asked me if I wanted to come with. Obviously I said yes and got on Skype and asked her to meet me there. Basically all that happened was we made eye contact and said nothing to each other. I wonder how she's doing. And that's the story of how I should have gotten kidnapped. I spent years on a survival server in one of the higher ranking clans. It always annoyed me and my clan to see other high ranking clans raiding the new player towns and slaughtering them. It discouraged new players to stay on the server. One particular slaughter, the new players were coming out one by one with stone swords and no armor, no potions, no enchantments, trying to defend. They were outgunned against 5 enchanted diamond armor wearing twats. They would all get slaughtered, respawn, and try again. While I admire their tenacity, it was honestly pathetic. One of my clan members and I went over with a boatload of gear and convinced the new players to regroup, armor up, and attack collectively. The justice that followed was quite the spectacle. We engaged the high-ranking players as a group and they immediately attempted to flee. It is with great satisfaction I can say that none of them escaped, and they were slaughtered. The face of a coward really does look like the back of a head. Oh boy. It was just an awesome way to bond with my kid at the time. We built all these crazy worlds and had tons of fun. He's moved on to Fortnite and Roblox now, and it just isn't the same. There was this one time on my server where I got pissed because everyone in the server decided to start murdering each other. Punishment? Lock down all the stores and all the buildings in the town. They all just lost it and begged for me to make everything go back to normal. Me, being a little edgelord, forced the whole server to build an altar and sacrifice his sheep on it, but they had to kill the sheep with cooked mutton, then eat the sheep's raw mutton. Everyone was so confused and disturbed as I watched in the distance as they did their ritual. I basically made a Minecraft sheep cult that lasted for like 10 minutes. I will never forget my first time playing. It was my first survival game I ever played. I was building my first house. Honestly, it was just uncrafted wood blocks stacked on top of each other by 2 blocks, and I had no idea that I could build a roof. So I died to spiders a lot. And then there was my first cave. Just that hole in the ground that I was peeking inside to see what was in there. The moment I peeked in, an arrow flew past my head, and I was scared shitless. Haven't booted up the game in 2 days. I've probably been playing Minecraft since beta 1.8.1, and nothing beats that first night that you play. Nothing does. I mean, there's that sense of mystery and adventure and just, a lot of the saves I've had are honestly just forgetful, but that first save, that first struggle, that first trying to build a wall to keep the skeletons out, and, digging your way into a hole in the ground at nighttime and crying to yourself as you hear the spider mumbling above you. It's just, those memories stick with me, and I would give my left pinky toe for that feeling again. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Share your experiences in the comment section, because if you're watching this video, I'm sure you have yours. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.